Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Bear me 1 second. All right. We're good. We're good. All right. So we have 17 minutes until market open. Just gonna get into some pre-market analysis here. So yesterday was really choppy. Seek and destroy profile, not good. But yeah, hopefully today's better. I'm not expecting big things with it being so late in December, and obviously Christmas is coming up. But you know, if we get good price action, then maybe we'll catch a nice trade. But yeah, let's get into it. So daily, nothing really, to be honest. We have this new week opening gap here. Not this. This is the new day opening. This is the new week opening gap. We completely filled it. After consolidating inside of it for the whole of New York AM session. So we closed above it, completely, rebalanced it. So, it's not really much of a draw anymore. I guess we can keep it there in reference in case Press wants to revisit it. But basically, just based on this and the tap into daily imbalance here, plus obviously our sell side sweep, indicates to me that we're going to be bullish. We didn't rebalance the whole daily range here. We didn't rebalance this whole range. Yo, what's up? What's up, Abdi, in the chat? What's up? And I'm coming YouTube. It's good to see you again. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, we are reacting off this daily gap here. No EQ, which is unfortunate. But we'll see. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Okay, so we're reacting off a little 4 hour FVG here. And obviously we have this big one here, which closed below. But price looks fully balanced below this, so I don't really see a reason why price would want to, come back down here, unless it was to maybe tap into the new day opening gap, or, worst case scenario, come back down and rebalance this EQ. But yeah, I mean, this is all balanced here, so we shouldn't have a need. Plus there is SMT at the lows on the 4 hour, so yeah. Okay, so let's go down to the H1 in a second here. So obviously this daily gap is still my draw. It's been my draw for like the past God knows how long. What, 3 weeks? I don't even know. We just failed to hit it so many times. Like, we have so many stacked highs here. As well as this one, there as well, and this one. I just don't see why we wouldn't hit it now, So I'm going to keep this as my draw in mind for today, and hopefully until the end of the week. I just mark this as buy side liquidity. Yeah, I mean that's going to be it. I'm bullish for this area. So okay, H1. Okay, so we have a little H1 gap here below, which we didn't tap. But it's going to be okay because we do have this 4 hour above, which holds more weight. And obviously we did tap this sweeper low inside of it. So it shouldn't really matter that we do have this. We can kind of treat this as a breakaway gap. If you know what a breakaway gap is, we can kind of treat this as one of those. So yeah, all of this is balanced here. So there's no need to draw a range from this low. Because obviously, every single leg is hit EQ, so no need to draw a retracement leg for the whole thing. But this one, we can see, I think this wick here has EQ. Well, we can see. Okay, it did hit EQ here. But what we can do is we can look for a potential discount level. So in case we do want to come back down to discount here, we have an hourly gap. Nice and pretty in discount. I'll dive into the 15-minute here again in a second. Just bear with me. I'll move this 4 hour across since it's sort of irrelevant for now. We just need kind of know it's there. And we do have obviously this hourly here, but we have fully balanced it. We just have to be cautious if this inverses. And then we'll have an hourly inversion. So just have to be a little bit cautious. I'll keep it there, just in mind. Obviously, we haven't inversed it yet. That'll be about 10 o'clock New York time. Obviously, that's when the hourly candle closes, so we could just watch for that closure. But what we might get here, I'm kind of getting a little narrative on the higher time frame. Potentially some manipulation down here into this hourly gap, and then maybe a nice long. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Just based on the the daily, the 4 hour, etc. Hello, Pukamasi. Welcome to YouTube. I am trading Nasdaq futures. I'm currently doing some pre-market analysis. So stay tuned if you want, if you're interested. Anyway, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this hourly, and so draws higher, but all right, it's 15-minute. Let's go. Okay. So we're reacting off this 15-minute gap. I can see it straight away. Did we sweep any buy side here? Oops, not bad. No, we didn't. Okay, so this is literally just reacting off the H4 fill. And you can see that obviously we have closed inside of it. We haven't got an inversion or anything like that. So we might get the manipulation that we're after here. The H4 candle closes at the same time as the H1, obviously every 4 hours. So in this case, it'll be 10 a.m. So we can wait here for 40 minutes or so, and we'll see, see. Okay, so actually what I did miss, I missed this. So we do have a H4 gap here in discount, actually. Not just a H1, my bad. I'll mark it out over the H1 because it holds a bit more weight. It is a bit smaller though. It's quite a bit smaller than the hourly, but it kind of stacks up. You've got the same wick, it's the same sort of area. So yeah, we'll keep it there. It's definitely stronger than an hourly. So okay, let me drag this out to 10 a.m. So obviously, and obviously here we have London low as well. So actually, this is a pretty good target for a potential reaction. Maybe not a short draw on liquidity because, like I say, I'm kind of bullish. Yeah, I'm not going to get married to the bias, to be honest. I'm kind of like 60-40 bullish, if you get me. More bullish than not, but I've still kind of got to be open to maybe digging deeper and sweeping some of these stack lows. Like I say, it is all balanced though, so unless we're going to do a sweep of the whole thing, which I doubt we will. We do have SMT at the lows here, and it looks like there is more SMT. Yeah, there is. There is definitely more SMT here. But welcome everyone to the TikTok chat. It's good to have you in here. We're just doing some pre-market markup on the charts here. We've got market open in 9 minutes, so we're currently on the 15-minute. We've been through the higher time frames, so yeah. Obviously, I've got this 4 hour marked out here, but we do have a large, a very large 15-minute. I'm not going to mark out the whole thing, because obviously look at the size of this thing. It's huge. But we can keep it in mind, definitely. When you have a higher time frame gap, price usually overshoots it anyway. Maybe dig into like an order block or something. So this would be, prime territory for a nice wick or something out of. If we did still want to go long by the time market open comes. Okay, yeah. So now on the 5-minute, I can see that London here has a low resistance liquidity run. You can kind of decipher the difference between a low resistance liquidity run and a balanced price range by the angle of the lows. So I'll use like a box as an example. So I'll draw a box, perfect box here. Okay, and I'll sort of move it over this box. So you can see this is lower than a 45 degree angle. It's not sort of up like this. It's definitely lower than 45 degree angle. So I could class this as a low resistance liquidity run. We can expect this to be ran. Maybe we do some, market open manipulation. But then if you look at these 15, these are more than 45 degrees. So, this is likely just balanced price, which makes sense. you know, every leg is tapped DQ, so I wouldn't class that as a low resistance liquidity run. But there's the difference between those, and you can clearly see it here on the 5 minute. Sorry about the constant zooming in and out, trying to just center it for you. Yeah, and this is it. I mean, pretty good example of a low resistance liquidity run here. Sometimes like 1 or 2 of these lows will get run, but more than likely all of them will. You know, the entire thing will usually get run. But we'll wait and see here. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Just having a closer look here on the 5 minute. This is a 15 minute. Got to mark it up by the looks of it. We have SMT at the highs. That's important. Yes, we do currently. So we can hold this in thought. We have equal highs here on ES. There's no, like, you know, it is equal highs. So equal highs are usually a good draw on liquidity. So, you know, these are most likely going to get ran. I think what's going to happen, like I said earlier, is maybe we get something like this. Not obviously not this long, because, you know, this goes over hours, but you can kind of, I'll go on the 1 minute and sort of draw it out. So this is what I'm thinking. We come down here, market open, maybe get some sort of Judas up into the 4 hour, maybe dig a little bit deeper, but this is the sort of thing I'm expecting here, with a nice little inversion FVG. Optimism is what you need in December. And patience, a lot of patience, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so back to the 5 minute, we weren't done there. Yes, we do have the end dog as well, but it has been balanced. So, right, let's take a look at the 8:30 opening price. What did the 8:30 opening price do? Okay, so we opened here. Not much, to be honest. Usually, if there's a clear manipulation at 8:30. I'll look for a 9:30 expansion, you know, AMD market cycles. But obviously, we can't really say for sure if this is the manipulation here. But yeah, obviously, it goes along with what I'm thinking. You know, this low swept here, imbalance tapped, etc. So, and obviously, we are reacting off a 5 minute gap here. Well, so if we do get expansion market open, then that's going to be the area that I'm expecting for potential long, maybe. Okay. 1 minute. Let's do the 1 minute chart, I guess. Okay. So another example of low resistance liquidity run, by the way. You see this right here. This is a beautiful low resistance liquidity run. Textbook, if I'm honest, and as you can see, the entire thing got run. So, yeah, I mean, another example. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same with the 5 minute, to be honest. Just obviously a bit zoomed in, but this is the time frame that I typically trade. This in the 30-second, sometimes the 2 minute. But yeah, for now, we'll just sit here and wait. We've got 4 minutes, so if anyone's got anything to ask in the chat, I'm open to answering any questions. I've got the chats both here, YouTube and TikTok on my second monitor, so feel free to drop anything in there, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Maybe you have a question about the bias or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, I really don't see why we should go lower, to be honest. Really don't. Well, you know, we could. I'm not like trying to, you know, predict, but you know, from a technical standpoint, we shouldn't. I'm just checking to see if there's an SMT here. Wish there is. There's another SMT. Actually, there's an SMT all the way here, so. I guess what we can do is we can remove this one. Since it's irrelevant now, we have a more recent SMT. Alright, let's see if we get some expansion lower. Market open, maybe potentially a nice Judas swing. Like I say, reaction off this area here, there's a large 15-minute below this 4-hour. So, it could, dig a little deeper here into the optimal retracement zone. I don't usually use the optimal retracement, but it's handy to have on the fib. I think it does work sometimes. Obviously, in good price action, all you need is a tap of EQ. You don't need this. But if you start, the thing is, like, you can kind of use it, because if you start closing aggressively down here, and start closing below the lower quadrant here, you can sort of expect the whole low to get run. Gives you a nice zone of potential reaction, which lines up perfectly with our 15-minute imbalances. So I don't have them marked, but they are there. The ES chart back here. More equal highs on ES. Yeah, ES is quite barcodey today, I guess. The market open here right now. Let's see what we do. I'm looking for preferably long, so I can't give you a definitive answer. I'm kind of 60-40 on my bias. Preferably longs. I was looking for a reaction off of this area. There's a 4-hour imbalance as well as 15 London low, and then a potential long higher. We do have some good draw on liquidity above. And obviously, we have this low resistance liquidity run here from London session, which I'm expecting the entire thing to get ran. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but hopefully longs. But yeah, I appreciate your comment, man. I appreciate the like too. Apologies, I'm just looking at ES here, since ES did just take this low and NQ hasn't. ES didn't tap into these either. There is a protected low on ES. That does make this SMT. Keep this in mind here. Obviously, ES has just swept this low, but it didn't tap into London low. It didn't tap into the lower imbalance, so I'm still expecting this area to get tapped into. Do we have any news today? No. No, we don't. By the way, guys, today, Thursday and Friday are going to be the last days that I'm going to stream until New Year's. So I think the 2nd of January is when I'm planning on coming back. The price action coming Christmas and then the week after between Christmas and New Year's is not going to be great. I recommend that anyone trading probably takes that time off, spend it with your family or something. Journal, backtest, do whatever. If you want to be, if you're locked in, go ahead and do something, but just stay off live trading or paper trade if you really want to. But yeah, don't trade any live accounts or any evals or funded or anything like that. Not worth it. Not like Mike Tyson then. Not much going on here. Yeah, I think what we do is we just wait, to be honest. Wait for this to get hit. I can't really take a long off of this SMT. We do have some criteria met, but obviously with such a big area of imbalance on the 15-minute below, and then the H1 and the H4 too. Obviously, if we don't tap this, it's just going to have a contradicting drawn liquidity below our trade. It automatically makes it lower probability. So I kind of need this to get hit, or at least it get tapped on ES. Otherwise, it's a no trade, no long. Okay, so thank you just taking this low. So obviously there's no SMT there anymore. Looks like I was right about the expansion at market open. So it looks like this was the manipulation here into this 15-minute, which makes sense. Price likes to manipulate into imbalances. So yeah, we might have to wait maybe until 10 a.m. if price stalls around this area. 10 a.m. is a key time for a reversal. I don't know if you've ever heard of the 10 a.m. reversal, but it's paired well with the Judas swing. You get some 9:30, manipulation or expansion. It can reverse off either of them, and you can sort of get a reversal at 10 a.m. Due to the hourly PO3. Obviously the 4-hour as well, because the 4-hour candle closes then. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. Be patient. I appreciate you guys liking the stream. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Right, so we've just tapped into this area. Like I said, we are overshooting this 4-hour a little bit. Now, either this gives a reaction, or we're seeking lower prices, and I'm completely wrong about the bullish bias. Which happens, and it's December, so it is what it is. But let's not throw our optimism out the window just yet. I'm curious, was there a 30-second inversion here? There was, but it was not valid unless you took this one, which is valid actually. Then again, that's pre-market, don't trade pre-market. It would have been a break-even trade. Alright, so we've just tapped into the new day opening gap here again. Still in this, this quadrant here. Like I said, if we start expanding lower below this, I guess yellow line, to put it simply, and we can expect the entire low to get ran, which is right here. I'll quickly just show you the 15-minute imbalance that I mean. This entire thing here is 15-minute imbalance. So thank you versus the H4 FEG. Yeah, totally. The thing is, obviously, you're reacting off this big H4, and you're reacting off of EQ of this bearish range here. And then you could target the EQ of this daily range, which is yet to be balanced. But the only thing that you've got going against you here is that obviously we are reacting off a daily gap. So you kind of have to be a little bit careful, especially, obviously if we reverse this. Are you on about this? I assume you're on about this one. Yeah, this is quite a small H4 FEG compared to, this big one here. So be a little bit cautious. Wait for. I don't know what criteria you trade, but I'd wait for something A+. I wouldn't try and take anything that's maybe a little bit ropey. Got to be super clean, especially with how price action was yesterday, leading up to Christmas. It's very unpredictable. I can already feel the probabilities moving away from me. What looks like an A+ trade should go against you. Like, was it yesterday? We had an inversion across like 5 different time frames: 15-minute, 5-minute, and then we had a 1-minute confirmation setup. And then we had another 1-minute confirmation setup after that one got stopped at break even. And then it just tanked. So, and it was perfect. We had the liquidity sweep, SMT, high time frame gap. Obviously, losses are losses. You got to take them and all be winners. But yeah, I mean, that was perfect. So I don't know how probable taking a trade today is going to be. Like I said, I'm stopping on Friday. So I'm kind of just being cautious now for the rest of the week. But yeah, I mean, for the 4 hour, you've got 20 minutes here until the 4 hour candle closes, and then we can kind of reshape our bias, I guess, if we do end up just inversing. And see if we inverse the day, the new day opening gap as well. And obviously, you'd want to see a retracement with a nice lower time frame inversion short. Potentially hold down here, wherever it is, EQ with a daily range. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we can now expect this low to get run. To be honest, we're just powering through this trade entry retracement here. Obviously, close below it, but we'll just wait and see. There's no singular inversions or anything on any time frame. And on the 5-minute, but obviously you're gonna have to wait for the whole thing to close. It's just not worth trying to look for a long here. We kind of need another. If you're gonna look for a long, you need another leg down with like a 30-second or something. But obviously, you start heading lower, you just heading lower and lower to this low, and it's no longer a retracement. Okay, so let's start looking for bearish liquidity pools that we could potentially react off of, since obviously price is tanking. So obviously we have this one here. This is likely going to get ran now. And we have another one here. The only issue is there's no higher time frame imbalances to go along with these lows here. Like I said, there's this 1 hour unfilled inefficiency below, but I was kind of treating it as a breakaway gap. Yeah, there's no higher time frame gaps, which is concerning, I guess. But we do, as long as all the other criteria is met, we do just need a liquidity sweep. We can miss the gap, but I'd have to take a lower risk. 5-minute, yeah, maybe. Doesn't hold much weight though, it's already been balanced. I'll keep it there for reference, but I'm not expecting big things from that 5-minute. It's 4 hour. Well, okay, so that's filled. That's filled 4 hour there. Yeah. Okay, so now we have these. I'm gonna just take away the retracement because there's no point. You know, we don't need it anymore. So, like I said, if you were going to be looking for a short off the 4-hour inversion, what you'd want to see is, let me see, just quickly check if this range is balanced. That isn't, but is this? Okay, this is balanced. So it looks like your retracement would start here. You'd kind of need to see, maybe we get a 15-minute or something. You know, a gap in premium tapped plus a liquidity sweep of an intermediate term high, and then a bearish IFEG, basically for your continuation model trade there. You know, you can't just try and blindly short unless your model is directly shorting H4 FEGs. Fine, but just not the way I trade. So yeah, we can kind of adapt here, you know, change our bias to shorts if we do start inversing higher time frame gaps, which looks like we will. Appreciate you guys watching in the TikTok and the likes. Someone's been tapping. Thank you, I do appreciate that. You see, I've just eyeballed this. Even obviously it's not closing above now, but if it did, it wouldn't be something that I'd take, strictly because we just missed this low. As you can see, we already powered through the ultimate trade entry retracement for this, you know, entire leg that I left here. You know, we're clearly switching bearish here, you know, bearish order flow. And most likely, if this was going to do anything, it'd just rebalance and continue lower. So it'd probably end up being a break-even trade or a straight loss. And to me, that's not worth the risk. So obviously, we didn't inverse it, but, you know, I'm just saying hypothetically. Okay, so there's that low. We have this 5-minute. I really don't think this is going to do anything, but it's there. It's a low inside of a gap, so. Oh, didn't do. I just find that funny. I don't know why. I just do. Creative humor, I guess. You mark at a level expecting it, like, you know, maybe we get someone that just powers through it. Just funny to me. And obviously we have this 4-hour here, but this has already been, you know, filled. So this shouldn't hold too much weight. Maybe we take out the low side of it, since, you know, it would make it a protected low on the 4-hour if it was to give a reaction. But this, to me, it just looks like we're going to, you know, close with a big bearish 4-hour candle and head lower. So let me get rid of this. I'll get rid of these as well because, like I say, they're irrelevant. Keep this one though, since it's the most recent. There's no short entries in this entire leg, by the way. So, if you don't get an entry, like, you can't be mad about missing a trade. Like, that's kind of what solved FOMO for me, I guess. Obviously, everyone suffers. I don't really suffer, but everyone struggles with FOMO. Struggles is a better word. Everyone struggles with FOMO when they first start, or even years into learning how to trade. And obviously what solved it for me was the specific entry model. specific criteria. If those weren't met, price moved, no emotion, you know. Don't try and jump into something. Don't try and catch it, because you know, you're gonna get wrecked. Happened to me way more than you think when I was first learning ICT and stuff. And even when I used to trade retail, like I'd still do. I used to do that too. Just idiotic, to be honest. Just switching from, you know, using your edge to straight gambling. So if you want to gamble, go and do something fun, like play a slot machine or something. Don't gamble on the charts. The charts are here for us to take a trade when it presents itself. That has, you know, where the edge is in our favor, whether that be with risk to reward or win rate. So again, this isn't this is M1 here. Actually, you know what? It's not terrible. Potentially we could try this at lower risk. Now I'll just give it a second here just to see what this next candle does. I thought there was a 2 minute at above, but doesn't look like there is. Okay. Well, it was a 30-second, not a 1 minute. Okay, so we've got to wait for the 1 minute to close here. If we do get this 1 minute closure, I'm open to taking this low risk. Which we did, so I'm going to enter that one low risk. I'll put the buy here in a sec. The break even's decent. Obviously I've entered super low risk, 2 micros, so like I say, you've got to size down in these conditions. But we have just swept the low. Obviously we have a filled FVG here and the SMT, so solid area to buy if, you know, we are gonna shoot back up and give a wick here. So maybe we can catch that wick. We do have to be a little bit careful, because obviously we have a 5 minute imbalance here, so you definitely want to be break even by this point. And obviously if you close below the IVG, or you start, you know, closing other IVGs in the leg, then it's wise just to close the trade. So, but what we can do here is we could just wait, see what happens. This trade I'm risking like $60, which is, you know, pretty much nothing. This is just a little tester, I guess, since the criteria is met. No gap though, so again, you got to be cautious about that. But yeah, here's the start of 5 minutes. So obviously, you know, we're going to hold a runner basically, but we just wait and see here if it holds. So here's our break-even point. I might go break-even if we tap the new day opening gap, to be honest. I'll just wait and see how price moves here. And if we start like digging back into this, I might just cut. Just because obviously we want to see fast price action, and this doesn't look very sensitive to me, so we'll just give it a little bit here. We'll wait and see. I'll adjust the take profit in a sec. I'm just managing the entry. I'm not trying to faff about looking for levels and stuff. Okay, I'll give it another candle here. Not a huge fan when my entry gets consolidated in. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. I've not got a target yet. I think I'm gonna look for a target in a sec. I'm just managing to see if I should you know, close the trade or not, because I'm not too sure in this one, which is why I went lower risk. And I don't like getting consolidated on in my entry or like a fast reaction. So I'll find a target in a sec. I just want to make sure that we hit break even first. Yeah, I really don't like this price action here on entry. I rarely close a trade at break even without the break even being hit. But you know, I don't like this. It's very tempting. We'll give it one more chance to see if this holds. All right, tapping into a lower gap. Back to the 1 minute. I should probably get the stats on like closing a trade just based on consolidation on entry, like how often, you know, it ends up being a loss, or you know, whether it'd save me from taking a loss if I just closed after like a candle or two of break even. Might be a wise thing to do, to be honest. I'm glad I took this low risk though. I am. So like I say, closure of the inversion is a you know, on the trade. So really, I'm not a fan of this. Okay, it looks like we're gonna get stopped out here. See, it's just holding the trade. Sorry, it's holding the IFG and just wicking into this this order block here. But obviously, it's a lower time frame, doesn't hold too much weight. Okay, I'm going to cut the trade there. And then I'm just waiting for the 1 minute. Waiting for the 1 minute. This is just not what you want to be in. This isn't ideal at all. Really, you know, deep dive here into drawdown trade. I haven't closed just yet, because obviously we did hold it, but I still don't really like it. Okay, we have a little 30-second here, which is kind of encouraging. This is our new break even, by the way. You have to move your break even to the next intermediate term high. So this is our new break even. So it hits the break even. I'm going to give it a candle here. Hey, thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Okay, so there's break even. I'm going to give it one candle. If we start stalling here, I'm just going to cut the trade at break even. All right, there's your one candle. Actually, we entered on the 1 minute. Yeah, there's one candle anyway. I want to see speed. I don't really want to chop around here anymore. I want to see some speed higher. Okay, right. So we can look for levels now. My stop is at break even. If you're in this, go break even now. Yeah. Yes, looks like opening highs are a good target. Nice one. Let me go to this. I don't know what it is, but it's a mile away, so it goes. We have EQ here. If you wanted to be conservative, you could take one partial here at this high. I'm not going to, because obviously I'm in such a small position. It doesn't really matter too much. We have a M5 gap here above. I think that would be a good area. potentially take one off. Maybe the start of this H5, sorry, this M5 FVG here. So there's going to be what, TP1 right here. And then what we'll do after we've hit TP1, if we hit TP1, you know, touch wood, I will just hold the runner, basically. That's kind of my way of trading. I'll take one TP, maybe two, if we enter with a bigger position, but then I'll just hold the runner. So yes, it is, Fred. It definitely is. This, you know, this isn't great. This is mid-December PA. We're super near Christmas. It's, yeah, the past couple of days haven't been great. So it's definitely, it definitely does get better than this. I promise you. If you just learn an entry model, stick to it, have strict rules. You know, this sort of trade here, I know we didn't have the high time frame gap, which is one of my main criteria, but I mean, we had everything else, so it checks out. Yeah, if we had that, then this wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have consolidated here. Deep wick into, you know, the stop of this trade. And it looks like I might get stopped at break even here. I didn't get a bad fill. My fill is about here. On the trade, it's about here. So my stop is at my fill. I'm not going to faff about and put it at the entry. Yeah, no, Fred, price is definitely usually better than this. You can have good days and bad days. This is an okay day. You know, we've had a setup here, and it's not been a loss. So, I mean, I can't really complain. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're in a winning trade, so yeah, like I said, if you're conservative, you could have taken TP1 here. I know it's only a 1 to, well, you know, realistically here, so would it have been a 1-to-1 ish? So not great to risk reward on the TP1, but like I say, you kind of have to adapt to the price action, and this price action isn't that great. It's okay, like I say, but it's not that great. So yeah, conservative TP1. My TP1 is still above. We haven't been hit yet. If it gets stopped at break even, so be it. I don't care. Okay, I'm at break even now. So, also, if you get a better fill, you've also been stopped at break even. I was gonna say then you'd still be in, but you wouldn't. So, break even trade there. Not bothered. Yeah, I'm kind of just glad that it hit the break even point, to be honest. That's why you have to wait for either the IVG to close through or the low to get swept. You know, I always have a hard stop at the low, but I always have an extra criteria that if the IVG gets closed below, then that's where I cut the trade, and that's usually where I calculate my risk to reward from. You know, a couple of points below the gap. You know, if we're going to get a closure candle, it's most likely going to be about, you know, yay big. So that's how I'll calculate my risk to reward here. And obviously the opening candle, the opening wick was right here. It would have been a 1 to 5. So good risk to reward on a runner TP. The TP1, obviously conservative TP1 wasn't that great. TP1 that I had going was all right. A little over 1-to-1. Maybe I think it was like 1.5. Let me see. 1.7. So almost 1 to 2, and then obviously the runner was a 1 to 5. But yeah, man, that's why you gotta go break even. You know, if I was still holding this, you'd just be stressing. So it's been a while since I've had a trade do this on entry. Sort of chop around for a little bit, dive deep into, you know, what is the drawdown of the trade, I guess. Obviously we just wicked off this order block here. You can see this. It's the last bearish candle before a bullish move up. Basically, it's an area where theoretically institutions will place orders, whether that be for manipulation to sell side or buy side liquidity. You know, rebalance the range. Well, it's all, you know, theoretical, but I mean, ICT concepts work, and ICT, you know, obviously believes there is an algorithm, and it makes sense to me, so that's what I'm going to believe. But you know, if anyone thinks differently, I'm not going to be opposed to it. But obviously you can see this inversion FVG holding, you know, like the tick closure above. You held the consequent encroachment here, the 50% perfectly. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like, you can't really. You're like, nah, it's nonsense, you know, because it's not. Mm. You know, if we get stopped at break even here and then it runs, I don't care because we had an inversion short, and yeah, obviously it's just not good when you've got, you know, flip flopping entries. The reason why I didn't, you know, even check to see if we had one, because we had this inversion below that held price up here, good. So there's no point in even trying to look for a trade when you've got, you know, a nice reaction, a nice support here. It's basically a roadblock. You're trying to short against a roadblock here, a bullish entry. But yeah, we might consolidate here. We're currently at 4 minutes past 10 New York time, so 10 a.m. reversal still possible. It's just very choppy and unclean, if you will. Fred, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. If you've only been trading for 6 months, I wouldn't. I'll tell you what I'd do. I've been trading for about 7 years. ICT for about 2.5. I was unprofitable until I, thoroughly learned ICT concepts. So, listen, instead of wasting time, what I'm going to recommend you do is you go on ICT's YouTube channel and you watch his 2022 mentorship all the way through, paper trade while you do it, and then maybe buy a 50k eval or something from Apex, but get it on discount, get it dirt cheap, because I'll tell you, I can't even count how many evals I blew when I first started trading ICT. It was only within the last 6 months or so that I started getting consistent, and I haven't really blown an eval since. So, yeah, I'm telling you, man, they're a lot harder than you think, and you really do have to have good psychology and good discipline, and good entry model. I'm not saying you don't have those things, but given the only the 6 months of experience, I'm going to recommend that you do that. So. And right now, over Christmas, take it easy with the trading as well. Nice income, nice. Using my eval account, I'm 300. I've just started. That's nice. Nice job, man. Taking it easy. One win a day, or 1 loss, 1 win, or 2 losses max. You don't go more than that. Yeah, just keep it consistent, keep it disciplined. Keep the trades A+ or lower risk for an A trade. This was an A trade, it wasn't an A+. We didn't have the high time frame gap. We did have sweep liquidity, SMT, etc., etc. So good momentum, single clean IFVG. It's just unfortunate that we came down and stopped as a break even, but price is obviously not delivering optimally. So yeah, MCAM for sure. You don't want to be over trading. Honestly, set a rule for yourself. 1 win or 2 trades max. So if you take 1 win, cut it. Leave charts off. Don't revisit them for the rest of the day. If you take 1 loss, then maybe go again, but lower risk. And if that's a loss, then obviously come off. If it's a win, good. You've made back your loss. Leave. Just have that rule, and that stops you from over trading. If you have the discipline to stick to it, you will, basically. And you just have to make sure. There's a lot of traders that obviously go to the gym and work out and stuff. Now, they say that contributes to trading discipline, and while that might be true, I think that you can have other things in your life that you could be disciplined in that will also mirror onto the charts. So obviously I've got 2 kids and my wife's pregnant. I trade full time. I make content. I don't really have a whole lot of time to go to the gym. So what I have in my life, I have routine. I have a strict routine that I do every morning, every evening. It's disciplined. And I tell you what, having that, performing that routine, it definitely did help with the discipline on the charts, sticking to the rules, etc. So just having something in your life that you could be disciplined for, whether it be something you do every day, or something you don't want to do, but you do it anyway, just stick to it, man. And it's the same with trading rules. You know, you might feel in the urge, oh damn, I've just taken a loss, I need to make it back. You're not clear, you know. You're not in the right mindset. All you're doing is gambling, basically. You know, you're on a slot machine. Oh yeah, come on, hit the bonus, and you ain't gonna hit the bonus, man, because price is now consolidating. You know. Well, does it? Yeah, it does, man. It does. Sure. I was a dumbass. I didn't stick to strategy and kept losing. I recently switched to futures paper. Yeah, man, futures is the way to go. Honestly, it really is. I used to trade forex too. I used to trade. I've tried them all. I've tried crypto. I've tried forex. I've tried stocks. Hell, I even used to try and trade penny stocks. If you know about penny stocks, then you know how that goes. Yeah, futures. I've definitely had the most success with futures. I'll tell you that. I'm actually profitable on futures. I find NQ is typically so much cleaner than anything you can find on, you know, for any USD, any GBP pair or anything. You know, obviously with forex, every currency has its own sort of personality, I guess people say, but I can never get behind it. What's up? You okay? Okay. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, no, futures is definitely the way. You just have to, like I say, get yourself a journal, get yourself some rules going. Obviously, set out your clear entry criteria. It doesn't match it. You don't take the trade. And you know, if it goes in the direction of the trade that you didn't take, then you know. What's just happened there? I don't really know. Something just happened in the TikTok. While I'm waffling, I don't really know what just happened. Yeah, no, MCAM, you're right. I doubt we're going to get anything else here. I think I'm going to call it, actually. You are right. I'm kind of just rambling, waffling about rules and discipline and stuff. But yeah, Fred, if you want to drop me a follow on TikTok, listen, I'm not, you don't have to or anything. But honestly, I plan on dropping a lot of helpful stuff. And on my page currently, I think I have some stuff on psychology, and I've got my entry models on there as well. I've got a scheduled post for later, just about like Christmas trading hours and stuff. So, you know, if you're interested, just drop a follow. I plan on keeping doing this, so I might be able to help you out a little bit. And obviously, I trade here every day. I'm going to be going live obviously tomorrow and Friday. And then obviously I've got 2 weeks off, and you should take 2 weeks off too. I feel like everyone should. Anyone that's in here listening to me right now, just from Friday, take the 2 weeks off, come back Jan 2nd, and just lock in. You know, hard to find people who want to actually do something with life at their in my age. Hard to find people who want to achieve something. Oh yeah, man, for sure. If you think that everyone has a success mindset, you're wrong. You know. I've known from when I was a early teenager, that I wanted to be rich, and although I'm not there yet, I'm damn well getting there, you know, and I'm trying. And I've had to reshape my whole personality and mindset and thought process to trading. It's so unnatural for humans. Trading is, you know, the process of risking something that you hold dearly, being money, to try and make more, and then you lose, and emotional spirals. It's unnatural, but I mean, if you can master it, I'll tell you what, you'll get there, my friend. I'll tell you that. But yeah, no, definitely, mate. People at our age, well, I mean, I say our age, I'm older than you, obviously, but I'm 24. If you were curious, but when I was a kid, people just wanted to like go to college and you know, be a builder or something. Builder, I don't know, man. Like, you're never gonna get anywhere in life being a builder, you know. What's going on here? Inactivity? I'm active, dude. What do you mean? It'll be good. I'm active. Okay, I don't really know what's going on there. I think we're good though. But yeah, yeah, no. At your age, people they have a career set. You know, the parents will try and pressure them to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, and then they'll end up working at McDonald's for 10 years. So you don't want that to be you, lock in, my friend. And do the work, you know, build the discipline, build the rules, and you'll get there. Honestly, from someone that spent years in the void of never, you know, self-doubt and never knowing if I'd ever figure trading out, I could safely say I've finally figured it out. And that's kind of what, that feeling is kind of what inspired me to start CxTrades and just try and help people in that journey. So yeah, I was you not long ago, Fred. So I'm not saying I'm like a millionaire or anything, but I'm definitely going to get there. I can promise you that. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. Like MCAM said in the YouTube, I doubt we're going to get anything else. You know, we had our one entry. There's no point in trying to force anything else. If you were conservative, you would have hit a TP1. If you're like me, you would have just missed TP and then got stopped at break even. So, which is not bad considering we've had you know, a lot of consolidation here. But yeah, take care, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the you know, the live stream tomorrow. I'm going to be live on YouTube and TikTok again the next 2 days. So you guys take it easy. Appreciate you being here again, and good luck.